Hello and welcome back to the Sanderland podcast. Today we resume our coverage of Rhythm of War, chapters 7 through 9, wherein Shallan and Iolai Sadius come face to face. And while Shallan is trying to piece together what's going on there, Iolai dies mysteriously, which I don't think any of us saw coming from last week. Kaladin is drawn into a burning building. He has his powers removed. And while he's in that trap, he comes face to face with Moash, witnessing some horrific murders of the prisoners and Roshone. And then Moash turns his sights on Kaladin, inflicting some pretty serious emotional trauma, which we will unpack shortly. Shallan and Adolin have a bit of a discussion between, I guess, the four of them and discuss the Ghost Bloods with, almost everything that Shallan needs to tell him about the Ghost Bloods, but not quite there. And back on board the fourth bridge, Navani is investigating this mysterious Fabrial and receives, well, I think actually not on the fourth bridge. No, they're flying separately. She gets a mysterious anonymous message, which is, really rather confusing for Navani. So early into the book, so much to cover. I am Jamie, and with me this week is
Jack,
Data,
and Joe.
So buckle up, everybody. The Sanderlanche is about to begin.
There is a wonder in the weave, so many forks upon these roads. For a burden that is shared is much easier to bear. We will not fall to despair this darkest day. Whatever comes our way, whatever path we follow, I will share your pain, your laughter and your sorrow. And should we prove ourselves, lose ourselves, nothing's gonna send us astray. Whatever comes our way.
This is Data from the editing room again. I wanted to let you guys know up front that since we recorded this episode, we had an issue pop up. Joe, Dak, and Jamie have all chosen roughly the exact same time to move. So we were not able to get a time that could work for people for the next episode. So we will not have a new episode next week. We should be back the week after that. Just want to let you know when I knew. Now, back to the show. So yeah, 3 more chapters this time, and maybe like we come to sort of the end of the battle here. Maybe things are going to slow down a little bit, but this first 10% or so of the book has not given us much room to breathe. What did you guys think of these 3 chapters?
Whew, man, like where do you even begin to start with these ones? Yeah, just I don't think I expected any of what really happened in this. So yeah, I did not see that coming. I I would not say I never expected her to give up the ghost, but to do it so early in the book, I'm like, oh, feels like kind of a waste. And now I'm just like, have I built this character up too much in my head? I know I've done that before, expecting them to do more than they actually wound up doing. But it's like, oh, she's dead now. Okay, now what do I do with this? So that's the. But hey, just like the last book, now we've got another Sadius murder mystery going on. So except this time we don't know who did it. So that's fun.
It's a mystery for us too now, yeah.
Yeah. Just to stay on the Shallan track, I do have to say I very much appreciated Shallan recapping for Adolin who all the secret societies are, and just like listing off, just like, now in case we've forgotten because it's been a hot minute, here's all the secret societies and what they're up to. And I was like, oh, this is an organic recap. I like this. This was it was very refreshing. So that was good. Yeah, the Navani stuff. I don't know what to make of that. I I yeah, I have a couple of thoughts about what it might be, but this is just so unexpected. I'm like, I'm probably way off the mark, but I'll save it for predicaments. But very ominous and doesn't really bode well for her. So it's between that and the prologue. So okay, this is going to be a Navani heavy book, and I'm here for it because yes, contrary to first book where I'm just like, is she a secret bad guy? It's like, no, I'll come around. I like Navani now. And then all right, well let's dig into it. Moash. So yeah, you obviously mentioned last week is like this is where your opinion really drove home on this particular character. Even that could not have prepared me for what he does here. Yeah, this is just I I struggle to see how there can still be people who, okay, his situation with Elhokar and everything up to this point, sure, that's a whole thing, and people are going to fight about the justifications on that one till the heat death of the universe. But now in this book and what he's doing now, how is he like? Do people still think there's a redemption arc in place? Like, because if there's gonna be one, I'm struggling to see it now because this was intense and horrific and shocking, and I'm like, oh man, this. I will say this, and I think I said this last book as well. Now that Moash has doubled down on the villainy and is just being like the worst human ever, he's interesting to read. I still hate him, but he is interesting to read. So
You can love to hate him now.
love is a strong word. Be fascinated in my hatred might be more.
Okay.
At least we know what he's about now.
Yeah, well, it's like he's not just a sniveling whiner like these books. Now he's just like, nah, I've betrayed humanity. I'm doubling down, and like I'm going to break Kaladin in the most horrific way possible. Yeah, okay, it's horrific and it's awful, but it's interesting.
Yeah, no, I'll give you that. Interesting. Yeah, and we can get into it more when we get there, but yeah, it's just that scene is so heavy and just
Unexpected. It's like
Yeah,
we never liked him anyway, but we're also just like, oh my god, did he just do that?
It's like if he had like come at him with a sword and tried to kill him, it would have been less like viscerally upsetting than what we got.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I want to touch back what you said about like Isla. You don't expect her to die this early, and you're right. It may be that we never saw that much of Isla, but it was always like, oh, she's like this plotter, so she's gonna have
always there. She may not have been the biggest presence, but she was a consistent one.
And so it was easy to be like, okay, so she's gonna be like this more behind the scenes like spider moving things around, and then oh, okay, well, she's dead. And I don't know if Brandon was like, we have bigger issues to deal with now than rogue high princes. We're past this in a world at war, so I'm just gonna wrap this part off. Or if he got to a point where he's like, I don't know what to do with her now. Maybe we'll just kill her. Or if this was, the plan all along. But it seemed very abrupt to me as well, and a little bit disappointing that we didn't get to see like really cool stuff from her.
Yeah, and I think that was it. It's like a woman who like Sadius married and Sadius saw as an equal. So like, we always, we built up Sadius so much because he was a pretty good villain too. So we're kind of just like, oh, what? And so if he's like that, what's his wife capable of? And then she didn't really accomplish much. And you could make the argument that that's a Lethe society just doesn't allow for her to do much, which is fair because of the gender roles and what have you. But I guess I was still just hoping for something shocking, something devastating to come from her, and we're never going to get it now. So I'm a bit disappointed in that. But again, I can't really say it's the narrative's fault. That's probably mine for building her up in my head so much.
Sure. Yeah, and we have been doing that almost since we met her, where it's like, oh, what's she gonna do? And I'm over here sitting like, not much. But it was fun to theorize while we could.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with everything Jack's put forward. The stuff with Isla, yeah, I certainly wasn't expecting her to depart us so soon, but I think it does, pave the way for a pretty cool mystery, hopefully. So I am looking forward to seeing where that storyline goes. I kind of like the mystery that's unfolding of, who's close to Dalinar, who's a spy for Isla, but who's then there and has killed Isla, and there's a whole bunch of different mysteries which I'm absolutely here for. So yeah, we'll see how that pans out. The conversation between Adolin and Shallan, I also appreciated the recap of the secret societies. That was very helpful, but also I loved seeing the relationship between Shallan and Adolin, but then how Adolin just intuitively knows, is it Shallan, is it Radiant, is it Vale, like who's in charge at the moment, and then how he changes to adapt to those personalities coming forward. And I just thought that was so interesting and like so well done like by Brandon as the author, but from Adelyn's perspective too. I just thought like you really know her, you really love her, and I'm really here for Shallan and Adelyn. I love them as a couple, and now no, they're a couple. The other two aren't really involved, which is they've set the ground rules on that, which is very important. But yeah, more to solve there. Shallan coming forward with the ghost blood information, but then I did like the realization at the end. I was like, well, I can actually tell him that I'm a part of that. So it's like, well, that was kind of the important bit, Shallan. But see how we go. A lot of mystery to what has Shallan got to remember, and it's like, well, we thought we had a pretty big revelation in the past, so I'm so curious to see what else she's hiding in there. What does she even know what she's hiding? She doesn't remember it, so that's going to be a good mystery to go through. I feel like we've really entered like the mystery era of Stormlight. So many different puzzles to solve, which is super fun. Kaladin, yeah, I mean, look, the Moash stuff, that is pretty horrific. What Moash did to Kaladin is horrendous. Because you're right, like if he just picked up a sword and just fought him, I feel like it wouldn't have been such a big thing. But what he just did was really dark, and a really dark piece of writing from Brandon as well. So it was really well done, but I hated every minute of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, agree.
Yeah, it was so like uncomfortable. And you as I listened to these ones, and yeah, I'm hearing it, and I'm just like, what is happening? This is crazy. And I'm so glad, something intervened, something broke up. I don't really know how it happened, but to sort of stop all that in its tracks, that flash of light, and Moash obviously got scared, and yeah, so I'm really, really thankful that happened. But even then, just like the horrors that he had to witness, Roshon's death, I didn't see that coming straight away. Yeah, and I shouldn't be surprised that we got that from Moash, but it's still horrific even when you read about it. And then Navani, yeah, researching. I'm loving listening to her research, and even the snippets of the lectures that she's given about Fabrials and stuff. I feel like it's giving us a really cool insight into some more on Roshar with that. But yeah, to have a bit of an ominous, threatening message at the end of that, with a mysterious span reed ruby being found, that was pretty cool too. I don't think I'd ever really given thought of like how would you pass on a threatening message, and that's definitely a way to do it. But yeah, more mystery, so much mystery. I'm loving it.
Yeah, how do you send an anonymous span read message? That would be tricky, but they figured it out. But I hadn't actually considered it until you said it. We really do start off this book with just a bunch of mysteries to solve, which is kind of a cool beginning.
Yeah, it just lays everything out there. I'm sure we'll get more. I'm sure this is not it. But I do really love that it's not been a slow burn in this book. We really have picked up in the middle of the action, and I'm really loving it.
It's been fun. Yep. And I wanted to bring up what you said about Adelyn. I'm glad that you touched on that, because it's so true that it's like Adelyn is dealing with something in his significant other that is probably extremely difficult, that his wife is not always his wife, and this person has very different opinions of him at different times, and he is taking this so in his stride and so well and being so supportive. Like, I cannot imagine what a guy that guy.
Yeah, good guy, Adelyn.
And to think, we started out the first book being like, this guy, eye roll,
He clearly just hadn't met the one yet.
That's the trick. Yep.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of characters in like Way of Kings were just like, I don't really like this person. And then from book 2 onwards, we're just like, they are the best and we love them. Do not hurt them.
Mm-hmm.
Do not hurt our precious, precious children.
But not Moash.
Yeah, we don't care about him.
He's been going downhill since the beginning.
Yeah, it was like we had a marginally negative opinion in book 1, and it just then he went down a cliff.
Yeah, he's if these characters were all our children, he would be the Damien.
Damian Wayne, or the Damien from the Omen or whatever.
Damien from the Omen.
Okay. Damian Wayne is also an asshole, so I was just...
Yeah, he's a little bit more of like chaotic neutral though.
And he was just a brat who happened to be trained for murder. Like he
and then he ends up
wasn't
like
a bad person.
Yeah, he ends up working for his dad, and like his dad's cool with it. You know,
He adopted a cow. He named it Bat Cow.
Yeah, they just dialed back on the murder. You know, it's all good.
Yeah,
that's all it takes, really. I mean, Moash, if you could just dial back on the murder a little bit.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I mean, yes, actually, that would solve a
We
lot of
would
our
all
problems.
appreciate that.
Yeah. That's another of the Sander Lanch's official podcasts, Murder Bad. Dial back on it.
Yeah, you don't have to stop completely, I guess. If you could just slow it down some.
If you're already murdering, just dial it back.
Yeah.
But if you haven't murdered, let's just not do that.
If you're in the process of doing the murder, maybe just dial it back.
Yeah, just a bit, just a smidge.
Dial back on the murder. What a t-shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, these chapters are great. I agree with what Dak and Jamie are saying. A lot of great fast-paced action here. I'm almost afraid that we're going to come to a screeching halt, and then I'm going to be like, oh man, this is not as good as the first part of the book. Hopefully that won't be the case. Hopefully it'll stay at this breakneck, fun, fast-paced speed, and then it'll just get even faster at the end. What a ride that would be. But yeah, I'm excited. Everything is mystery, new, interesting things going on. I agree. The Shallan Adolin moments are very nice. It's obviously a very unique and difficult situation for Adolin to be in. He's taking it like a champ because he's supporting somebody he cares about. All good things, right? We love to see that kind of stuff in a partner. It's good vibes all around on that stuff. Yeah, I have to admit I kind of agree with Dak. I was like, I did not expect Iali to die this quickly, but I think what this section did do is paint a very good picture that she is not the same person she was, like even in the last book.
Yeah,
she's obviously been going through a lot, and so it's not super surprising that her level of paranoia, which ends up being justified, by the way, has kind of like deteriorated her to the point where she was not really even a puppet master of the own people that she had working under her. She was kind of just hiding and trying to like stay out of harm's way. So as it is slightly disappointing to not have more of her and her be a more active role, I think maybe Brandon was like, I think maybe it's more like what Data was saying. He's like, the two options where Brandon might have been like, I don't know what to do with her. I think it's more likely the other one where it was just like, I have to show that the squabbles of the High Princes, like that is not important anymore. We have moved on to a much larger game here. And so I think taking her out of the picture early is kind of a great way to do that. It's like when Hedwig, spoiler for a book that came out in 2007. It's like when Hedwig got killed at the almost the beginning of book 7 of Harry Potter. It was a page turner, like a turning page point. That's like, okay, he's like, these are not children anymore. There's real stuff here at stake, and it's like this is the existence that we're in right now in this book. There's a lot at stake. There's big players, and I think her death also kind of gives like way to intrigue for Ghostblood stuff, and we got to hear some names we're familiar with and so I'm kind of excited to see where that leads us. So yeah, other than that, yeah, what else can I say about the Kaladin and Moash stuff? It was not great. I am surprised that you guys had such a visceral reaction to it. I don't know if I'd just given up on Moash to this point of me just being like, no, that's exactly what I would expect from him. Like, I wouldn't expect him to not do that. You know what I mean? Like, at this point, I'm just like, yeah, that is something I would expect him to do. So I didn't have quite the same visceral reaction, but obviously it's, what he did was terrible and disgusting. But yeah, what I guess the biggest impact of that is like, where does that leave Kaladin now? Like, he's been in this funk already, and now it's kind of increased by this Moash interjection. I'm also interested to know like what happened. I assume Renarin did something to freak Moash out. I just don't know what it was. So be interested to know like what's going on. Renarin seems to not understand his own powers sometimes, or either that or he doesn't talk about them. So I'm just kind of trying to figure out like what exactly happened there. But yeah, the Navani stuff. It's funny we're talking about her being secret bad guy in the first book. It's like she's obviously somebody's bad guy because somebody's sending her threatening messages, calling her evil and whatnot. And it's also interesting to me that it's all based around like Spren stuff, because it's like who cares about the normal, I say normal, the less like higher level Spren? Is it almost, are we seeing like a class system even among the Spren? Is that what we're finding? And maybe like the entity or whatever that's upset about this is like the high, these higher level Spren are always looking down on these lower level Spren and treating them like they're not as important. So like, is that like where we're going? Is there even this culture among the Spren that some people are less important? So anyway, I'll be interested to kind of go down the path of that mystery as well. But yeah, good stuff. Excited to keep going.
Yeah, the Spren thing, it seems like they consider intelligent Spren like people-ish, and then unintelligent Spren are like animal level, which, I mean, there are people in our world who argue that, animals are not lesser than people.
Right.
That's a little on the extreme side to me, but I get it, where we're coming from. So it could be somebody like that in this world.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, I guess you then have to ask the question, right? Do those Spren have the potential to have like a higher level of sentience? And if so, like,
can they change and evolve?
Right. Because it's like you talk about we had the same thing with the Parshmen, right? Now it's like we realize, the Parshmen were actually singers, and they're extremely intelligent. Just were stuck in a form that they couldn't use that intelligence. It's like, is that what we're talking about with all these other Spren, or like what's actually going on? That's kind of the question I have in my mind, is like, what's actually going on with this? So
interesting point. Also, I have to note, when you said her death gives way for ghost blood stuff, you were talking about Eli, but in my brain you were still talking about Hedwig, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, the ghost bloods of Harry Potter. It's a very subtle thing that happens in the background of the book.
Hedwig, a death I am still bitter about to this day.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Poor owl. Anyway, but I wanted to ask you, because one of the first things you said was like, hopefully the pace stays like this breakneck, and I was like, would you want a book that's like this thick, that is
hell
paced
yeah
that way the whole
Why
way
would
through?
I not?
Interesting. Okay.
Why?
I would just be impressed.
Yeah.
If it could be sustained that long.
Right, but like, why would I want it to slow down? Maybe if there's like some exposition, like we have to explain what's going on, let's take a second and explain it. Sure, but like, if everything's this action packed. It's a book called Rhythm of War. I mean, if everything's this action-packed, I wouldn't be mad.
I'm in the process of reading the new book that's just come out, which is co-written by Brandon. I don't know if this is something that we'll ever read, these co-written books.
Are they
this one doesn't
Cosmo-related or no?
No, this one is not. I think he may do some let some other people write in the Cosmere at some point.
Yeah.
The new book is called Songs of the Dead,
okay.
and it is about a heavy metal fan / artist who becomes a necromancer.
Okay.
And
so it's urban fantasy, basically?
Yeah. And Brandon has been talking about this book for years. He was originally going to write it. It was going to be like a pizza delivery guy that became a necromancer, and it was like Death by Pizza or something. I forget.
So wait, is he a good guy necromancer or a bad guy necromancer?
It's necromancy is a term that is sometimes offensive to this community because it has these negative connotations to it. It's very complex. I'm only like 30% of the way through the book.
Well, Harry Dresden used necromancy, but he used it in,
that was illegal.
It was illegal in his world, sure. But at the same time, he used it for good purposes, not bad purposes.
But yeah, I am 30% of the way through this book, and it starts out fast and has not slowed down. And it's kind of wearing on me. I'm like, it's like a bullet train of a book. And we don't have time to stop and explain any of these things because we are going from one emergency to another emergency. And I'm like, I'm getting tired.
Yeah.
Like, can we slow down for a second, please?
Maybe
So-
maybe if it wasn't the first book, right? Like if you had, because that's the thing. Like
Mhm.
this is not the first book. We have established characters. We know like mostly what their characterization is. We have established a conflict. You know, so like think about it this way. What if this was like the 10th Harry Dresden book? Would you care if it was super fast?
Interesting point. I don't know. Yeah, that's a really good point. But yeah, I'm in the process. I'm not doing that for our Patreon since it's not a pure Brandon book, and honestly, it doesn't feel all that Brandon-y. You can tell that the co-author Peter Arulian really was in the driver's seat on this one. So I haven't decided how much I like it yet, but just thought I'd mention that since this book just came out.
Yeah.
And
But I get what you're saying. Like if you're just establishing characters in a world and like you're not explaining things real well and you're just going fast and fast, it can be disorienting for a reader who has like, oh, I don't have a lot of context for what's going on.
But no, that's a good point. Yeah, if it was the fourth Stormlight book, maybe I'd be okay with it.
Yeah. So what I'm getting from Data is this book does not stay breakneck speed.
I don't know. I was curious.
You
if would
know,
like that.
don't say you don't know.
Fair. Okay. Well, let's move into these chapters, y'all. I wanted to ask you guys something as we get into the epigraph. Have you picked up on the stuff with the metals in these epigraphs?
Yeah, that they're all like Scadrian metals that do things. So you're talking about?
The Allomantic combinations.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Pairing?
it's also that they're sort of expressing. Well, here, so the epigraph here is the two metals of primary significance are zinc and brass. Zinc causes the spren to manifest more strongly, while brass causes them to withdraw and dim their power, which zinc and brass are
not a pairing.
the rioting and soothing
Yeah,
metals.
I think you're right. Yeah. Writing, soothing.
Wait, are they?
Mm.
I thought brass was a copper pairing.
No, copper pairs with tin. No, tin pairs with pewter. Hold on. Dang it. Now I got to bring up the Allomantic chart.
Do it. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's brass and zinc for soothing and writing.
Iron and steel, tin and pewter pair up. Iron and steel, zinc and brass, copper and bronze.
Copper and bronze. Okay.
So yeah, zinc is the rioting metal, brass is the soothing metal, and with Fabrials, zinc makes it more strong and brass makes it less strong.
Okay.
And as we get into the other ones, like I'll just hit the other epigraphs now. Bronze is the one that's a warning Fabrial that alerts you if someone's nearby, whereas in Allomancy, bronze is the seeking metal where you can sense if Allomancy is being used. And the pewter cage causes your spren to express itself in force, just like pewter makes you stronger. And also,
Pewter arm, thugs.
We use Stormlight more quickly than other Fabrials with the pewter Fabrials, and we know pewter is one of the fastest burning metals. So there is some parallels here, and that's really interesting to me. So we start with Vale and Sadius. Well, she is a Sadius. Iali Sadius. And Iali's not looking great. It says that she's withered since the last time Shallan saw her. She describes she's got a really nice outfit on, but it hangs on her like a cloak on a tavern's walls peg. Like, okay.
What a visual.
Yeah. And Iali's like, so you finally come for me. And Vale / Salon / Radiant, whatever you want to, is trying to play it like, no, I'm still this person who's trying to come and serve you. And she gives her a bow, like, oh, my queen. And Iali, like, plays it, but she does not seem to be buying it. And she tells Shallan, or Vale's in control here, that, no, I'm not trying to be queen. I support Gavel, our son, the rightful heir. And we have to get him away from the clutches of his aunt and great uncle, the rats who've deposed him. And at first I thought we were talking about Navani and Dalinar there, but I'm like,
no, it's Yasna and
it's Yasna, yeah.
Yasna and Dalinar, right?
Yeah. And there's an interesting note, something I don't think we've ever seen before. When she halfway summons her shard blade, she doesn't actually make it materialize, but she says that gives Pattern, who is with Adolin, an indication of which direction she is from him, which is very cool, I think.
Yeah, did not know that was Paul.
Yeah.
Which maybe I'm forgetting something, but I'm confused by that because it's like Pattern isn't her sword then, or like, what's the deal?
No, Pattern's her sword, right?
Well, if Pattern's her sword, how would it just make... He'd be there. He'd be the sword.
Well, but she doesn't fully summon the sword. She like starts the process but doesn't bring the sword to her all the way.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't
I
know how
guess,
that
like,
works.
I guess it's like the whole thing. Like we saw it a couple of books ago when Adolin was practicing throwing his sword, and then he
Well,
would
yeah,
summon it back to his hand.
but that's different because he's got... It takes time for his sword to come to him.
That's true.
Well, and yeah,
Because she doesn't have to wait 10 heartbeats like with the dead blades. I guess she's there's still a process. I guess I don't know, but she can halfway do it, and I guess Pattern feels himself being pulled that direction where he would be stuck if he was a sword.
Which I guess I'm just confused because like Kaladin has never done that, but I guess maybe he's never had a reason to do that.
Maybe he's never even thought about it. Yeah,
well, he's not exactly Mr. Subterfuge.
he's not.
That's a good point.
And Ili wants to talk about wine and has Vale try different wines. And they have some subtle, like, I don't even understand, honestly, everything that they're trying to say to each other here with the stuff about the wines.
I think that what's confusing in this section, because I felt the same way, was like, not only do we not understand, it seems like from Shallan's perspective, she doesn't understand. So I think that adds to the confusion of this section. It's like nobody, including the reader or Shallan, understand what is Ili's trying to say with the wines.
Also, there's a really fun moment where Shallan's like, oh, this is going to be like a wordplay sort of discussion here. Let me take over. This is my area of expertise. It's like wordplay. And then they want to try to like figure out who Ili's spy close to Dalinar is. And Shallan's just like, so who's your spy close to Dalinar? More like not literally, but basically that.
Oh
and
my
Vale's
gosh.
like, okay, are you sure that you should be in charge right now?
Shallan.
I mean, worth a shot, but showed all your cards.
Right? Yeah.
She said, Shallan, sometimes she is both the worst and the best.
Well, and I don't know. Some of this Shallan seems to understand. Like, what is it? They're talking about this orange wine and how it looks like this really good orange wine, but when you taste it, there's this sourness, and it's really not very good. No matter how good it looks, it's not actually good. And Shallan's like, what good does it do to package an inferior wine with such a fine label? And Ili says, well, it might fool some for a time and allow the winemaker to gain quick, easy ground over competition, but he'll eventually be revealed as a fraud, and his creation discarded in favor of truly strong or noble vintages. And Shallan's like, oh, that's bold. One hopes the winemaker doesn't hear. He might be irate. And Ili says, let him be irate. We both know what he is. And I was like, wait, what are we talking about? They seem to get it. I don't think I do.
It's like she's saying something about Shallan not being who she's saying she is, and then the winemaker, maybe that's supposed to be Dalinar.
I was like, is it Dalinar? I don't know.
Who is the winemaker? See, this is the thing. When you, I get it. Like, you know, they're trying to be clever, but at the same time, like, if I need a commentary on a chapter section of a novel to understand what's going on, then I don't know that it's for me.
Yeah, I don't know. If people out there feel like this is really clear and I'm missing it, send us an email or something.
Yeah,
and let me know,
maybe we're the dumb ones. We're willing to
be.
admit that that's the case. What about
I'm
you,
always
Dak,
willing to
Jamie?
acknowledge
Did
I'm
you
not
guys?
wrong.
Yeah, Dak, Jamie. What? Did you guys understand what's going on here?
No, I feel like eventually it'll be oh, that's what she was talking about. But at the moment, I'm just kind of rolling with it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I sort of took it as like they're having this cryptic conversation where Ili knows what she's talking about. Shallan's struggling to keep up, and eventually we'll get the reveal. And Shallan's go, "Oh, that's what that was about."
That would make sense. Like,
Or we never get the reveal because she's dead.
yeah, Joe said that Shallan doesn't even understand. I'm like, I feel like Shallan. It seems like Shallan feels she understands, but maybe you're right. Maybe she's pretending she does, and later on we'll get the reveal. Yeah,
We've all been there,
It's like-
faking it until we make it. You know.
yeah.
It's like so we're getting at a later chapter where Patton goes, "You must like admit the truths to yourself," and Shallan just goes, "I don't know what Ili was talking about. Are you happy?"
He's like, yes, what a delicious truth.
And then there's one bottle of wine that she's like, I love this bottle, but it's the last of its kind. Every other bottle destroyed in a fire. I'm like, okay, is that like a hint about something, or are we just being literal? Like, no, this is seriously the last one.
I just do any of us on the podcast here do we enjoy drinking wine? I'm not a wine guy myself.
I am not personally.
I like a wine.
Yeah.
There you go.
Somebody does. I don't know. Like I feel like I feel like this whole conversation is just how I feel about wine. I'm just like confused that I don't understand its appeal.
But it doesn't help that like pretty much any alcoholic drink they have is called
It's all
wine.
called wine.
Even when-
Yeah, that's
when it
true.
turns
Because
out
they
it's
even
actually,
say
like
like
whiskey or
it's all
something.
grain alcohol, but it's actually they call it wine. Yeah.
Yeah.
And eventually Ayala's like, okay, just get on with it. You killed Thanadol when he tried to deal, so I can't deal. You killed Vamo when he just ran away, so I can't run away. So I thought maybe I could just hunker down, but that's not working either. Or just do it. Get it over with.
Super
And
fast runaway.
Shalon's like, you killed Thanadol. And Ayala's like, oh, that's what he told you, huh? So they lie to their own people. And she has to think, I guess Moraes didn't specifically say Ayala killed Thanadol. He just implied it. Ah, crap. This is like dealing with the Fae. All right. And the Ghost Bloods, Moraes does want her to kill Ayala. And Ayala's like, yeah, go on, do it. And Shalon's like, no, I'm not. They have to vote. Like, Vale, I think, kind of wants to. Like, let's take her out. Let's get it done. But the other two are like, no, we're not killing her. Did they at least tell you why they decided we needed to die? Why they hated Gavilar and Amaram and me and Thanadol once we knew their secrets? What is it about the Sons of Honor that frightens them? Which I feel like is almost, I'm like, that's fair. The Sons of Honor have kind of sucked at everything. So.
Yeah.
And she says, they'll send you after Rastaris next. But they'll watch you. And when you know too much, like they'll take you too. You guys remember Rastaris? That was in the Jeopardy round that we did.
Yeah, he was like the Storm Warden for Amaram, the one who convinced him to take the blade.
You guys thought that the Storm Warden, but it's not Rastaris. He walks in talking to his Storm Warden, and he's like,
Yeah.
Rastaris was right. I should do this.
Right.
So
yeah.
it was somebody else.
It's a name, but said by name, but not. Yeah.
Okay,
None of us remembered that
'cause-
during the trivia either, so it's okay.
I think it's because like that's when we heard the name, so that's when I like associated with that.
You kind of
character.
connected it, yeah.
Right. So we don't
One
know what
time-
Rastaris looks like.
Nope. Ayala says, once I'm dead, don't let them search my rooms before you. Look for the rarest vintage. It is exotic.
So stupid.
And then we get this thing where it turns in, it's not Vale talking or Shalon talking. It says the three. They said, don't give me riddles. Give me answers. And then the three say, you're not dying today. I have more questions for you. And Ayla's like, I won't get to answer. They're not going to let me. Which, spoiler, as somebody mentioned, her paranoia, 100% justified. Because she dies almost immediately. And Adolin shows up. And I love the Adolin. He looks in Shalon's eyes. He's like, which one are you? And she says, Shalon. And he hugs her. And they grab Ayla. And he's like, did she confess? And Shalon's like, I think we have enough to say that it was treason. So they put an illusion on Ayla so they can escort her out. And she basically walks out the door and dies. Shalon has to run out there a minute later when she's like, something's wrong. And then we find Ayla dying from apparently like blackbane, which is a poison that keeps coming up.
It's like it's the only poison on this world.
Right?
The jam poison wasn't blackbane, though, was it?
No, that was backbreaker poison or something.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
And so, yeah, you go in there and Ayla is on the floor with her mouth foaming. And it's like, oh, she's dead. And when we cut to Kaladin, who has gone to try to rescue some innocent people being attacked by the Fused and the soldiers, which are the same soldiers that Kaladin was like, you guys, you don't have to die. Get out of town. Come back in like tomorrow or whatever. And it's fine. First, they attacked him and he had to kill one of them. Then they left town and now they're back again. And he has to kill almost all of them here. I think like one or two survive. Like, guys, you should have listened the first two chances you got. And so Scylla's like, I mean, this is clearly a trap. This Fuse knows how to get a Windrunner. Attack some innocents and the Windrunner will show up to try to protect them. But what Kaladin does not know about is a new Fabrial that the enemy is using. He goes into this building and suddenly, poof, his powers are gone. His shard blade is gone. Syl is back to being a Spren.
Which, damn, like, did not see
Yeah.
that one coming.
No.
What does Syl say about it? In a minute, she's like, I felt faded or something.
Yeah. She's like, she
Yeah.
felt like she was fading away or something.
I wonder if it like if somehow I'm just trying to like guess how it works. I wonder if somehow it like taps into the cognitive realm and like manifests it partially, and that like messes up their powers or something.
This is a good question. I mean, I want to know more about how it works for sure. Because who knows? Honestly, like I don't know that we have enough information to know how it works, even if they explained it at this point. Because it's so different from anything else we've seen a Fabrial do. I feel like, but the scene that follows, I just love it so much, where dude goes into like monologuing, where he's just like, I got you. You freaking Radiants are all the same. Without your powers, you don't know how to fight. You've never been trained to like. And all of a sudden, Kaladin just like lays them all out.
Yeah, it's a real moment of like, you don't know anything about Kaladin, guy. Like Kaladin has been fighting since he was a young teen. Like you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, this guy. Do we have a name for this guy yet? Because I feel
We
like
don't.
Yeah, he seems like he's just he's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder. I'm just like, who is this guy? Where did he come from? Have we seen? He didn't show up in the previous book, did he?
No, this guy is good. Like, when we met him in this book, he was a completely new kind of fuse that we'd never seen before. Yeah, even Kaladin.
That's right. Yeah, I was like, okay, just the amount of page time he given to his ramblings. I'm just like, okay, new villain for the series. Interesting, but he seems kind of dumb. Like good fighter, kind of dumb.
Yeah, he's like a peasant child with no real training in the art of warfare. And then Kaladin like hits one of the guys, takes his spear, kills them. Like there's 5 of these guys, and Kaladin, or 5 or 6, and Kaladin takes them all out in an instant, practically. So yeah, this guy's so full of himself, has no idea what he's getting into.
Yeah, he's like one of the less competent Bond sidekick villains.
Yep.
Benicio del Toro in what was that? Was that one he's in?
He was in License to Kill, which I don't think I've seen since I was like 10.
I think that one's actually my favorite Timothy Dalton one because he doesn't have a lot of great ones.
Well, he only did 2 movies.
Yeah, and so that is the better of them, in my opinion.
Yeah, I need to go back and watch both his again. I've been a hot minute since I watched many Bond movies, in fact.
Yeah.
They're all on Netflix now, I think, at least in the US.
Yeah, I'd have to check.
Netflix subscription.
I've got all the Roger Moore ones on DVD.
They just a random thought. They announced the Dungeon Crawler Carl TV series that.
Oh yeah, I saw Matt Dinniman post about that.
Yeah, it's getting picked up. It got picked up by Peacock.
Yeah,
and
which I had almost no interest in watching the Twisted Metal show, so I don't know if that was any good.
I watched like the first couple episodes and didn't think it was terribly interesting, but then the trailers for the second season makes it feel more like Twisted Metal, so I was like, maybe I'll give it another chance.
Yeah, I don't know what
McFarlane
it is.
is doing this one, and he usually is pretty good. So
yeah, I don't know what it is about that actor in that the guy who plays Captain America and what is his name?
Evans?
No, the other one. The one in Twisted Metal. What is his name? Anthony something? No, am I wrong?
The dude who plays Captain America.
The second Captain America, yeah, Anthony Mackie.
Anthony Mackie.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I don't know what it is about that actor. Anything he has been in, I'm like, I don't know if he just his acting style just doesn't do it for me. But I'm just like, I don't like this. Like the first season of Altered Carbon was one of my like favorite shows ever, and then he was the main character in the second season. I was like, this is unwatchable.
See, his acting, I think, was one of the few things I liked about the first couple episodes of Twisted Metal. I think it was just the story. I was like, I like the games. This doesn't feel much like the games.
Right.
But I mean, how much the Twisted Metal is like
it's a battle royale car.
Battle royale. I was going to say free
battle royale car game. Yeah, cars. Like it's hard to make a narrative out of that.
Yeah, it's not very narrative.
besides the motivations for each of them fighting in the battle royale, there's not a ton of narrative.
Yeah, you could do like an Avengers thing where you show the backstory of each of them in a different movie, and then have the movie where they all fight each other. But that would be a whole different thing. But yes,
anyway, sorry.
Very full of himself, and not only that, but he's predictable in the way that he attacks. Because as soon as he like drops a body and turns into the little red light, Kaladin's like, "Oh, he's going to come at me from behind again." That's what he's done like every time. And so Kaladin pulls out his knife and stabs the guy right where he rematerializes and kills him.
Pretty awesome. I
yeah.
feel like Kaladin
Yeah.
has gotten some really good kills with a knife.
It's true. He's done some really impressive things with thrown knives in the first book, and we haven't seen him do that for a while. I kind of want to see that come back.
Yeah. Poor Shallan's brother.
Well, no, that wasn't a thrown one. He tried with the thrown one and almost got him, but yeah, he had to stab him right in the eye slot. But yeah, that's unfortunate. Anyway,
Right in the face.
and then he's here. He's trying to rescue after he kills the guy. Like, there's an injured edge dancer here named Godeki. At least that's how I was pronouncing it. I don't know how it's said in the book or in the audiobook, I should say.
Yeah, how do they pronounce it?
Jamie?
I actually don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah, you were saying
that sounds right though.
Godeki.
Yeah.
I would think I was saying Godeki, but I mean it's all
I
relative.
think it's Godeki. Like, that sounds familiar, but maybe it's how we've referred to it. I can't.
Yeah, fair. I think this is the first time we've met him.
He got mentioned in the last. He was like, "Oh yeah, we're sending this guy to go do the thing."
Okay.
Like it was just a distinct enough name that it stood out to me when he got his one mention previously. But yeah, I believe it's the first time he's shown up.
And it's like Kaladin's here to rescue him, but he starts moving not under his own power. And then Kaladin looks down and is like, "Oh, it's Lift. I didn't see Lift come in, but that happens." Like,
she's often here, and I did not know she was here.
I just imagine, like, if Lift is sometimes tripping over things and stuff, maybe she used her edge dancer powers to like slide along the ground like a worm, and that's how she got in here.
I wouldn't put it past her. And so we've got one of the enemy soldier left here, the one who turned on the Fabrial, because he's the only one who wasn't standing next to Kaladin for him to kill. And Kaladin's like, "So what is this thing?" And the guy's like, I don't know, man. They just told me to twist the thing to turn it on. That's all I got." And so Lift turns it off, and we get our Stormlight back. And Kaladin gives this guy yet another chance where he's like, "I told you to leave. I'm memorizing your face, your patterns. If I ever see you again, you're going to regret it." And the guy's like, "Yes, sir." And he runs off.
I'm gonna throw you up in the sky so hard, you're gonna have a long time to think about the fall. Like, I like that.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
It's basically what happened to Dalinar in the last book.
In the second book.
Oh, was that the
Shot
second
up in
book?
air, and then Kaladin rescues
When
him.
Seth showed up, yeah.
Oh yeah. Man,
Well, because like he did it to one of the other high princes as well. Like there's
That's
like,
right,
this
and that
guy's
guy
just finally
died.
turning it around. Oh, and he's dead.
yeah,
That guy is dead. Yep.
man. Those books were so long ago, but it feels like not that long ago.
It's kind of like, man, like aside from Dalinar, the people who tend to die in the Stormlight books, it's like they die right when they're just like, I was a bad person, but now I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to become good. It happened to that High Prince. It happened to Elhokar. It happens to Rashon here, which is like, yeah, he's still awful, but he was like doing something good for once in his life. And it's like the moment they start doing something good, that's when someone shows up to take him down.
It's like, yeah, let's get rid of this guy.
The one that Seth kills was I believe he was like the one that was okay with Dalinar the whole time. He was like the one ally that Dalinar had among the High Princes. He was just the one that the other ones called like cowardly because he didn't fight on the front lines or anything.
Okay. Must have gotten mixed up with one of the ones who had been on Sadius' side the whole time and then just went, you know what? Screw Sadius.
Yeah, that was Aladar who was on Sadius' side and then switched and came along on Aladar and Royan were the two that went along with Dalinar when he set out for the center of the Saturn Plains.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. And Lift mentions there was another human in here. So I guess Lift has been here longer than Kaladin. Like, she was already in here before because she saw Rashon get taken.
You know, she's been creeping around. It's fine.
Just worming through.
And when Kaladin realizes that they've taken Rashon, he has a moment where he's like, "Do I really need to go and rescue that guy? Okay, no. I said even the ones I hate, as long as it's right. All right, yeah.
I'm bound by my radiant order. Yeah, whatever.
It's like, fine, I'll do it, but I won't enjoy it.
Won't be happy about it."
We cut back to Shallan, who the very first thing she thinks, like, Vale is like, "Wait a second, we did decide not to kill her, right? Like, we didn't do this." And the three of them have to kind of go back and forth, like, no, we didn't kill, which is deeply disturbing when you have to like confer with yourself to figure out whether you murdered someone. But
yeah,
really sure.
We all decided not to do that, right? Like,
one of Adolin's soldiers is like, oh yeah, I've seen somebody die like this before in Sadius's army. He poisoned himself rather than be taken. And I love, we've often heard people like curse using various body parts of the heralds, but I think this one is new when one of Adolin's soldiers goes, nails nuts. I was like, geez, all right.
That is absolutely new, and I kind of wish Nail was like
There.
secretly in the room and
He's
just like,
hey.
what?
Nail, yeah, no.
Nail. Show them
You're
your
nuts.
nuts.
Except like as a Namekian, he'd be like, we don't even have those.
It's true. Yep.
We reproduce asexually.
Nail's like listening, like Nail's nuts, and he just goes, no, I'm all about the law and following it. On the flip side, fuck that guy.
And then Shallan figures that the Ghostbloods must have somebody else, either among Adolin soldiers or among my people. Somebody else murdered Ili for the Ghostbloods. Not that there's not other people who wanted her dead, probably, but like, come on, not that much of a coincidence.
It's like the best line from that terrible James Bond movie, Quantum of Solace. It's like M's just going, it's like when the people say they have someone everywhere, like they have people everywhere, you don't expect them to actually be in the room with you. Florists say that, for God's sake.
We have people everywhere. It's fine.
And Ishna is here, and Ishna knows a little bit about Blackbane. She's like, well, I know a lot, actually. My gang used to use it on rivals. It's tough because first you need to dry out the leaves, which Kaladin told us that all the way back at the beginning of the first book. You dry out the Blackbane leaves. But this is new. If you want them to their full potency, then you have to make a gum out of them. And you don't eat it. Putting it into the bloodstream is better.
But wait, why would put a gum into the bloodstream? I feel like that would take a while to break down.
Right?
Wouldn't
Yeah,
a liquid be
By
better?
gum, don't they mean like paste? Isn't that what they're trying to say?
I don't know. But yeah, it's like, how do you inject the gum? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because a paste would be liquidy enough to inject. I think that's what they mean by gum.
Maybe.
Yeah, okay.
And Shallan's like, Shallan knew of Blackbane herself. She'd studied poisons recently. And I was like, well, yeah, but also you poisoned your dad with Blackbane and tried to kill him. Like, did we forget that?
Oh, yeah.
It didn't quite work, and she had to strangle him, but still, she tried.
Maybe that's the truth that Patton's trying to get her to remember. It's like, stop. No, we've already remembered this once. You got to do it again.
It's like, you poisoned her, Shallan. You are the Blackbane Queen.
But honestly, I kind of like that this is here because I always wondered, like, Kaladin told us, you let Blackbane dry out and then it can kill you. That's what he was going to use it for, to kill himself if it came to that. And then Shallan has leaves that have dried for like a year or something and puts them in her father's tea, and it doesn't kill him. It just like knocks or makes him not able to move for a little bit. And I was like, what? But we were told that would kill you. But now we're like, no, that's not how you get to full potency.
Yeah.
We
Maybe even Kaladin didn't know. I mean, it's likely that's not something his surgeon dad would teach him. Like,
yeah, his dad probably didn't teach him how to make like assassin
poisons to kill people.
Yeah.
He didn't know about the shelf life.
Which kind of puts that in a new light. Like, that plan probably wouldn't have worked, and he'd just been like gotten really sick or something.
Right. I wonder if, because like Shallan thought her dad was dead at first, but she didn't have a lot of experience with that. I wonder if Kaladin had taken that while he's in the slave wagon and he appeared to be dead. Would they have just chucked him out and all of a sudden then like headed on, and a few hours later he's free?
Yeah, that's a good point.
But also remember, like when Shallan's dad took it, he was in quite good health, all things
That's
considered.
true.
Whereas
Kaladin
Kaladin was
not.
like being malnourished and beaten on a daily basis, so it probably would have killed him.
True. He was not in good shape. It's the end of chapter 7. We go back to Kaladin, who is going through the building, the manor house, and is just finding new ways to look down on Light Eyes, where he's like, if they just didn't have to be so fancy and make houses out of wood, we wouldn't have to worry about it burning down. And he has to run through fire to get down there. Yeah. And after he goes through the fire, Scylla's laughing at him. He's like, what? Your backside's on fire. He's like, crap, my coat. And then we get the thing where it's like Leighton is the quartermaster for the Windrunners, and he's always complaining. It's like, Kaladin, you let yourself get stabbed just to keep our uniforms running out, don't you?
I love the idea. We're making a lot of James Bond references today, but I like the idea that Kaladin is Bond and Leighton is Q. And it's like, now 007, please do try to bring everything back in pristine order.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
He's just like, Kaladin, please try to bring your clothes back in one piece. He's like, no promises.
Damn it, Kaladin, stop getting naked on the battlefield. I have never been naked. You have been close.
It's like Ben in when she was fighting in the dresses, and Doxson's like, "Oh, you know how much those cost?" Classic.
She's like, I don't
Good
know.
times.
Ah, Doxson, we hardly knew you, you dead bastard.
And so
Still
Callan
pissed.
gets down to the cellar and finds two prisoners manacled to the wall, and he recognizes one of them. He's like, "Hey, Jebber, have you seen Rashon?" And then he notices neither of them is moving, and he gets close and is like, "Oh, they are dead with their eyes burned out. Awesome." And
good times. All right.
Sill's like, "Behind you," and he turns around, and there is Moash in a sharp black uniform cut in an Alethi style, and he's got Rashon with a knife to his neck, and apparently he was just waiting for Kaladin to show up, because without another word, he cuts Rashon's throat and kills him.
He's like, hey, Kaladin, I killed this guy for you. Hope you like it.
So this is interesting because, like, we know, I actually don't know if Moash knows, but, like, Rashon is really the one to blame for the whole thing that set Moash down his dark path. I don't know. Does Moash know that? Because he just doesn't really seem to care. He's just kind of like, he does this more to get at Kaladin than for any personal gain here.
No, I
Yeah.
think that it's personal for him. He says it
I
here
mean-
in a minute, I think.
Oh, does he? Oh, I forgot that
I
bit.
think so. Hold
But
on,
yeah,
let's see if we get there.
So he knows that Rashon was part of the reason, but he just also blamed the king.
I think
Is that
so.
is that what we're understanding?
I guess then it's like Rashon's the one who told Elhokar to do it, but Elhokar's the one who did it, is how Moash justifies himself.
Well,
But he
yeah,
really doesn't
he's still
seem
the
to-
king, right? It's like you.
Yes,
you're the,
but-
you know.
but
We
he
know that
doesn't
Elhokar
really-
was making bad choices because he didn't feel confident, but he, you know.
Sure, and I don't want to open up the whole, Moash Elhokar justification thing again, because we've trod those boards a lot. But it's more just the case of, like, so he knows about Rashon, and he doesn't really seem to dwell on it here. Like, the one time he comes face to face with Rashon, he's just kind of like, throat cut. Look at that. Isn't it great that he's dead now? Moving on.
Yeah, I jumped ahead a little bit, and next time when we cut back here, Kaladin's like, "You bastard," and Moash goes, "What? You deny that I was justified? You know what he did. You know what he cost me."
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So I guess he did know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but before,
I was like,
Sorry,
yep.
go ahead.
Moving on.
and yeah, he's like, "What? You came to save this guy, Cal? One of your worst enemies?" And Kaladin like moves to attack him, and Moash is like, "Nope, I surrender." And that's when we cut back to Shallan again.
It's like, haha, you can't kill me. I surrendered. Bye.
And so I was waiting for him to do that thing that was really big in movies in, like, the early to mid 2010s, where, like, the villain surrenders and then instigates a jailbreak from the inside.
Like the Joker sort of thing.
The Joker did it. Loki
Okay.
did it in Avengers.
Oh, yeah, Loki did do that.
What's his face in another Bond reference in Skyfall?
Oh, he did.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
totally true. I forgot that.
Let the sky fall. That Javier Bardem, is that one?
That's the one.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the guy.
I didn't remember if it was Javier Bardem or the Rami Malek guy. That must be
I
the
don't
next
remember.
one.
Hold on, maybe.
That was
we don't need to.
the final one.
Yeah, the was it A Good Day to Die or
No,
what's it
no
called?
Time to Die.
No Time to Die.
Yep.
With old
Yeah,
Billy
Javier-
Eyelash.
Javier Bardem is Raul Silva in Skyfall.
That's right.
Sorry, back to the we cut away to Shallan, who they have kind of a conversation between themselves about, like, we are balanced between the three of us, and Vale's like, yeah, but are we getting better? And Shallan's like, I'll take not getting worse. We'll just, and then we see Gaz. Haven't seen that guy in a while.
And he's got both his eyes. Good for Gaz, I guess.
Sure.
We can get over the animosity towards Kaladin at this point,
It's
right?
been a long time.
Yeah.
And it's like, I found Gaz's sense of humor. Nope, just a withered old piece of fruit. And Shallan says, anything that annoys Gaz is funny, Red. And he's like, well, I annoy myself, so I must be the most hilarious storming man on the planet. I kind of like that.
He is not.
He learned to draw in Stormlight a few months ago, and yeah, healed up his eye. Look at that.
We.
You know what? Good for Gaz.
Yeah. I'm kind of just like, whatever. He's here. I don't care
Just
anymore.
deal with it. Yeah. Yeah, I feel
He's
like
got
we don't
Moash
get
to hate.
enough. Yeah, that's true. I feel like we don't get enough Vata action. I like Vata or Vata, however you say it.
I've always said Vatha, I think, but Shallan starts going through the wines, and then she finds one that she can't figure out what it is. So she takes it to Adolin, the wine expert,
Like, I knew I married you for a reason. Come here.
and she's taken off her shoes, and he's like, "Why don't you have shoes? They were impeding my ability to think." And he says, "Love, you are deliciously weird sometimes," which is super cute, I feel like, but. And she just brings him the carafe, and she's like, "Drink, it's for science." He's like, "Okay." And he doesn't like it. This is Shin wine. They don't know how to make alcohol right. They make it all out of the same strange little berry. So I guess the implication is Shin wine is real wine.
Yeah, Shin wine, just like Shin chickens are real chickens, Shin wine is real wine.
And then I love Pattern's line. I just always love Pattern. He's like, "I wish I had shoes to take off so my brain would work right." Actually, I don't think I have a brain.
Yeah, how does that work? Just they just run on magic.
And then she
No
has Pattern.
brains.
She goes, "Search the room for patterns." And he goes off to do that, which is, once again, Pattern, the most helpful of Spren.
Yeah, he
Like,
definitely is not as sassy as old Syl.
Well, I love that he makes jokes that either, I don't know if they go complete, or he says stuff that would be a joke for us, but that it either goes completely over her head or she just always ignores it. Where, like, in this scene, she walks over and finds a spot, like a brick or whatever, that she thinks is hiding, and she goes, in the corner. I think this is right. And he goes, a few degrees off, so technically acute. And we don't address it. It's just
It's just a little math joke, you know?
I love the math jokes.
Who doesn't enjoy a nice math joke?
And Shallan is worried because, like, she's worried who in her own inner circle here to trust. It's like, who has Mraize turned to murder Iali when she wouldn't do it? And we go back to Kaladin. And yeah, they have the discussion where Moash is like, "Hey, I was justified. You know what he did." And Kaladin's like, "You already killed Elokar for that crime." And Moash is like, "Well, yeah, he deserved it too. I had 2 grandparents, damn it. They can both die for it." He didn't say that, but that's what I feel
They
like.
all deserve to pay.
You wouldn't let your brother's soul cry into the storms unavenged. And Kaladin's like, "Shut your mouth when you're talking about Tien."
Yeah, you don't know nothing about nothing.
And Kaladin's like, "So this is all about justice? Why did you murder 2 chained up men down here?" And Moash is like, "For mercy. Better a quick death than to leave them to die forgotten." And he's like, "You could have set them free." Like, what do you mean?
What are you
leave them to
talking
die
about?
forgotten? You were right here. Asshole.
You had the power.
Yeah. Not only is he an ass, his logic doesn't even make sense. Even from an evil perspective.
And Kaladin cannot bring himself to kill Moash because Moash is standing there having surrendered, unarmed. Forget the fact that he can call a shard blade to his hand in an instant. For now, he's unarmed. And so he's just like, "I don't know what to do." And Moash is just like, "They're going to die, you know. Everyone you love, everyone you think you can protect, they're all going to die anyway, and you can't do anything about it." And Cal's like, "Shut up!" And we find out in here, like, Kaladin shared a lot of secrets with Moash. Like, this was the guy that he considered like a friend back in Bridge 4, and we didn't see into it all that deeply. But apparently he told them all about, like, it says Moash and Rock and Teft, at least. He told all about his brother and his life and what happened to him. And he even told Moash about, like, that night that he at the honor chasm where he considered ending it all. And so,
and again, it's not to belabor this point too much, but again, it's like, so because Kaladin didn't know that Moash had the Roshon connection until Dalinar told him.
right.
But so that means that Kaladin told Moash about his own Roshon connection, and Moash just like, interesting, not mentioning that at all.
Oh, that's true. If he knew who the guy, yeah, I never thought about that. That's messed up.
Yeah,
it's deeply messed up. Because so Moash, this guy who's still claiming to be Kaladin's friend, takes all the stuff that was confided in him and uses it here to try to be like, "Cal, you know the only way that you'll ever end all of your suffering is to die, right? You can. I want you to stop hurting. I want you to be free, and there's only one way to do it. You know that, right?"
Despicable.
It's so gross that he's using all the stuff entrusted to him to try to convince this guy to, like, end his own life.
Yeah. So, like in the intros, Joe, you mentioned like you were sort of surprised by how viscerally Jamie and I reacted to this.
Mhm.
I think the reason, whatever else you can say about Moash, he definitely seemed like he was interested in fighting his own battles. He was quite happy to take the lead on, like, he wanted to personally do all these things. He wasn't just about to outsource it to someone else to do or do anything like that. So I guess it's shocking to me here that rather than try and fight Kaladin, he's trying to just get Kaladin to do the job for him in a very insidious way. And I was like, that's not what I expected from him.
No,
Um,
I guess I can kind of see it from that angle.
Yeah.
But we also know at this point he's definitely been influenced by the singers and so or the fused and all that. So like who knows what
Yeah,
is
true.
actually going on inside the brain.
Yep.
And he's very I mean
sure.
these words that he's using, right, about pain and all that, it's very odium,
Yeah.
right?
That
Like
is true.
take away my pain, I can take away your pain. And then here in a second when he runs off, I think he mentions pain. It's like I don't want it, so like there's obviously something going on.
Yep.
I think for me, it's, I trained for years to be a therapist, and I ended up not keeping that as a career. But the idea of like taking someone's depression and weaponizing it against them to try to push them into this thing that
Yeah, when you say it that way. Yeah.
any decent human being in the world is like, wait, you're thinking about hurting yourself? No, man, come on, like let's slow down, get you some help. Like you don't even have to know the person. If you literally saw some stranger and heard them talking like that, you would be like, hold on, let's
Yeah.
like I
That's
don't
not
want
the
even a stranger
answer.
to go through that to be going through that.
Right,
And
right,
this
right.
guy's here like, no, do it. And I'm like, ugh, like
Yeah.
it's just like it hits me.
Also, it's like I'm your friend. I know what you
Yeah.
need. You need to die.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I think that's the bit that got me is that he's still not like giving up that Kaladin's his friend. And I'm like, but you shouldn't. This is not how you speak to your friends. This is not. And like, obviously, a lot's happened, and Kaladin's not necessarily. Well, and this is the messed up thing, right? Kaladin's still viewing him as his friend, and I think we get there more later. But it's like there is no friendship here. This is very, very toxic. The two of you need to not actually
Yeah.
speak ever again. And I'm
Yeah.
in Kaladin's interest, not Moash. I don't really care what happens to Moash.
Yeah, because Moash is trying to couch this like, hey, I'm trying to help you here, like help you, be out of this pain that you're in. And you said it, Jamie, like Kaladin is here, like, I can't kill this guy. This is one of the guys that I swore to protect. This was one of my closest friends. And yeah, he's not your friend.
Yeah.
No.
Ugh. And things like there's a moment where like Kaladin is falling down a hole here as Moash is talking, and there's a moment where it's like Syl is saying something. Syl's like screaming, but I can't even hear what she's saying because he's so zeroed in on this. And so things might have taken a very bad turn here if it wasn't for the fact that all of a sudden there's light, and then we see an image of Moash, but like standing tall, wearing this blue uniform, protecting people gathered behind him, and he's got like a shard spear of his own. So it's like an alternate view of Moash where he became a radiant, like everybody else in Bridge 4.
This sort of made me think, is this like a Shallan kind of thing where she would draw the pictures of someone better than like the who they could have been, and then they strive to become that person?
It definitely
Like that
reminds
kind
me
of-
of that.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
reminded me also of Gold
Yep.
in from the first Mistborn book.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot about that one.
I was actually going to say that. I'm glad Joe said it first because it reminds me of Gold. Well, from the first one, and you remember when like Miles 100 Lives like uses Gold.
Oh,
to see
yeah. I forgot about that.
the other version of himself that's like still a lawman or whatever, and I'm like, that feels like this. So maybe there's more of a connection between how these powers work than we think. But seeing this like freaks Moash out, and he's like, no, take my pain, and he runs. Which, geez, like he folded fast.
Yeah, what a wiener.
Ed Kaladin is just like Renarin, it seems to have been the source of this. He runs in, he's like, Kaladin, are you okay? Are you out of Stormlight? And the chapter ends with like they have to get to the ship, and Kaladin is just like numb. Like Renarin has to help him get there. He can't even do anything. And the next chapter starts with Kaladin like basically had to be escorted all the way back to the fourth bridge, and then they're almost treating him like one of the refugees. They've given him some soup. They've kind of set him down in the corner, like, hey, you're okay.
He's like, do I look that bad? I guess I do.
And there's we find out there's hundreds of windrunners now in the group, and so we can't be this tight-knit group of people anymore, and that's part of what seems to be hurting him. It's like he's kind of losing the bridge 4 of it. Now they're all spread out over all this stuff, and he's in charge of the whole thing. He is, what do they say? Is he High Marshal or something like that?
Yes, he's High Marshal, like Amaram once was.
Like Amaram, yeah. Okay. And we find out that during the battle, one of the windrunners, Laron, this girl, she said her third ideal, and so everyone's over here congratulating her. And Teft comes over later, and he's like, it was hard for her, like it is for most of us, so get off your ass and go tell her congratulations. But he's just going back over what Moash said in his brain, and Syl is freaking out. It's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to help you. You've always had this darkness, and sometimes it's better and sometimes it's worse, but lately it's like you're just tired all the time, and it's getting worse. You freeze when you hear reports of lost windrunners, and she's just like, tell me what to do. Tell me how to help. I've tried everything I can think of, and I can't figure it out. And he's like, if you figure it out, let me know, because if I knew, I would fix it, right? So, and that's where Teft shows up and tells her, go congratulate her. It was rough on her like it is for most of us. That was the rough one for Teft, too. I don't know. We didn't see his other ones, but him having to say that he'll protect those he hates, even if he hates himself most of all. Which makes me wonder, like, in the middle of this battle, I wonder who... We don't know Laron. I'm like, who is she hating that she's decided to protect in the middle of this battle? Kind of curious.
Oh, I was going to ask, like, have we met this person before, Laron?
I don't think so. As far as I can remember, the only female in the group that we knew before now was Lynn.
Yeah.
I think that it actually told us she came with one of her friends who was also one of the scouts, so maybe that's who this is, but I don't know. There's probably a lot of women in the group now, so it could be anyone. And he's sitting here, he can't get what Moash said out of his mind, and he's like, it wasn't... Teft asked him, like, what did he say? And he's like, that you were all gonna die. And he's like, oh, what, empty threats? He's gone crazy, that one has. And Kaladin's like, but it wasn't a threat. Like, I really am going to lose everything eventually. Everyone. That's how it works. That's how it always works.
That is called life.
Yeah.
Not being able to see anything other than that is called depression. But yeah.
Yes, true.
Right. He's got a real Sylvia Plath thing going on. It's like, it's going to be all right, man.
But it is funny that now that the battle is over and the ship has made it a little ways back towards home, Dalinar and all the important people are going to leave. Because it's going to take weeks for this boat to get where it's going. So we got to go. And Navani, and we actually saw, if you guys remember, in the notebook of her notebook page about the fourth bridge, we saw this individual little pod that you can fly in. And that's where we come to Navani. She's flying in the solo flight pod thing. She likes this because it lets her sit and work while it's like she's in an airplane seat with her little table, and she can work on stuff. Dalinar doesn't want to ride in one of these. She's like, I think he thinks it's too much like a palanquin, and that's a woman's thing. You'd think, since he taught himself he learned how to read, then the gender divide wouldn't be so big. But no, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
We get some interesting little notes where she thinks about Yasna. Yasna loves picking at threads. Yasna loves secrets. Navani does not like secrets. Secrets turn Gavilar into, well, whatever it was he'd been at the end. And I'm not going to go into a lot of details on it because it's a bunch of kind of introspection and thinking about more technical aspects. But I agree with what Jamie said at the beginning. Some of the technical discussions are some of my favorite bits, where we're finding out she's diving into the research on how does this stuff work and learning. And I kind of love that part of it. And she's upset about the tower. We still can't make it work like it's supposed to. We have a bondsmith. Why can't he and the Stormfather do whatever it is that the dead tower spren used to do? And we find out about soulcasters, which all the way back in the first book, we knew that soulcasters seemed different from other Fabrials. But even with all the knowledge we found up till now, we still can't figure out why do soulcasters work just dramatically differently. And they can now look at them in the cognitive realm. It says that they can travel back and forth from Shadesmar. And so they looked at one of these things in there, and it's like a spren that's asleep or something, is what you see on the other side. But I feel like this is also very new information. We just got the Oath Gates, or some of them working last time, and they would not let you travel from the cognitive realm to the physical realm and back. But she says we can use the Oath Gates to do that now. So hell, that's a pretty cool thing. She thinks more about how she's not really, a scientist, but she's interested in how all these things work. And really, it's not that big a deal that, making the flying airship is basically the same thing as a span reed. You're just applying it on a different scale. So it's not like it's that big a deal that she created
Except
this, right?
no one has ever done it before in the history of all of the people who understood how span reeds worked. But you're right. Your contribution to science is not large at all, Navani. Girls gotta get some positive self-talk going.
Right?
Hard when you've been conditioned for so long.
Well, especially like we saw Gavilar doing it to her, being like, "No, you're nothing."
Yeah. It's been years though. Like you think like with Dalinar now, like some of that would go away.
Like I guess like she hasn't had any positive support in that time until Dalinar finally came around. So
Right.
It's true too. She was like the queen mother at that point, where they kind of wanted to push her off to the side.
He's like, I like to be involved
Yeah.
in stuff.
it's like her son's off at the Shattered Plains, her daughter's off, like you're doing her thing. So she's left with daughter-in-law,
Who she does
Queen.
not like.
Well,
Queen Decadence.
how could we blame her?
Yeah.
Yasna probably should have just assassinated her. But oh well.
And I wonder, because this was the night of the assassination of Gavilar that Yasna met with the woman. I wonder if she'd been like, yes, go ahead and assassinate her, and then Gavilar died, if she would have been like, crap, I need to undo that. Like, this is not the time for this anymore.
It's like, can I blame this on the assassin in white?
Yeah, maybe she would have been like, Elokar's going to be king. Actually, I need to speed up the process of killing this woman. Maybe it would have gone the other way. I don't know. We see Dalinar outside. He's wearing like a mask with goggles and stuff as he flies through the air, because the Windrunners can sculpt the air around them so it doesn't bother them, but Dalinar does not have that.
Yeah.
I love this visual.
Yeah. I love the discussion. It's like, I talked to the Windrunners and I was like, why don't you like fly feet first? And they're like, no, that looks weird. It feels silly. We're not going to do that. Which we know they fly by basically making that way down, like gravity points that way. So it kind of makes sense that you would fall down. That's actually a big concept in the book Ender's Game, where like that way is down. So you put your feet that way. But no, not for Windrunners.
Pull up. Oh god, no, we've got another broken nose. Came in for landing too hard. How many teeth does Lopen have left now? It's fine. He regrows them with Stormlight.
Yeah, they grow back. It's cool.
Can you imagine growing back teeth? That sounds like it would hurt.
It really
I
would.
mean, we all do it at some point.
Well, you know what I
You
mean.
just
Like
imagine the-
instantly, like it just shoves through your gums.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Like Stormfather's just watching. Just going, this is not appropriate use of Stormlight.
It's like, does it hurt when the teeth come out? Every time. It's a classic X-Men reference for you there.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, the first movie.
And then she spots a weird red light and finds a little ruby. And she's like, oh no, this is part of a span reed. Like, you stick this on the span reed to make it connect to the other half of this ruby. So she takes that one of her span reeds and swaps out the ruby. And instantly, she's communicating with someone. You must stop what you're doing immediately. And she's like, who is this? I don't think you know who you're talking to. Like, did someone misplace the span reed?
Who do you think you are?
I know who you are. You are the monster Navani Kholin. You've caused more pain than any living person. I was like, geez, that's extreme. All right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like, buy me dinner first.
Yeah. Like, what is this? I mean, obviously it's a mystery, but it's like, what is she talking? What is this person talking about? I don't know why I assumed it's she.
Well, Navani assumes it's a she because it's a person who can write. So, so unless it's Dalinar or, it's like you've caused more pain than
Can you
any
imagine?
living-
Dalinar's on the deck writing this.
Yeah, he's like, you're so evil. I can't say it to your face.
I wouldn't want to say it to her face, but, but not, like, it's like you've caused more pain than any living person. I was like, do you know who she's married to? Because that
That
he's
guy's
had a history.
He's called the Blackthorn.
I couldn't watch any longer. I had to stop you. And she's like, is it a mad woman writing on the other end? Like, what the hell? And she's like, okay, well, what do you want me to stop? Also, still waiting on your name. You capture Spren. You imprison them. Hundreds. You must stop or there will be consequences. And she's like, I mean, even the intelligent Spren don't think it's a big deal for us to use, like, the animal type spren, unthinking animal type spren in our fabrials. Like even the honor spren are fine with it. And the other person's like, the honor spren cannot be trusted. Not anymore. You must stop creating these new fabrials. I will make you stop. This is your warning. So yeah, the person on the other end of this, the woman Navani assumes or whoever, is intense.
Also, still waiting for your name.
Yeah, never got that. Sorry.
It's just like a cryptic with a grudge. It's just like, I hate the honest friend.
Maybe.
I think they're so great with their honor and their shiny blue dresses. I'll teach them.
And their lies.
And their ships that sail through the Cosmere. I mean, the Shadesmar.
So we wrap up the chapter with the last scene is Shallan and Adolin in the carriage talking about what happened. And Shallan says that, like, reveals to Adolin that, like, no, Iali didn't kill herself. We're pretty sure that somebody did it. And so he immediately understands. So there's like a mole in our group somewhere. And Shallan's like, yeah, maybe you should send all your guys out to like unimportant posts until we know for sure it wasn't one of them, which he does not like because he's like, these are my best guys. And they also have a conversation about these other versions of her. He's worried about some of this stuff. What if Vale does something that we wouldn't want her to do, like get physical with someone else? And Shallan's like, oh no, you don't have to worry about that. We've talked about that. We have an understanding. It's fun.
Yeah, that would be a point of concern, though.
Yeah, right.
It's vaguely reassuring. It's like, no, it's okay. We talked about it. It's all good. He's like, okay, no worries.
It's like, doesn't Vale like think Kaladin's really hot? It's like, yeah, but it's fine.
And Shallan and Radiant and Vale have like an internal discussion about like, they're like, you have to face it, Shallan. You have to like remember these things you don't want to remember. And there's a thing about formless. She's like, I'm not going to create another persona. Formless is not real, which that's worrying. And so Shallan,
real enough that you named it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Shallan basically tells Adolin, I'll explain everything someday. I promise. I can't do it right now. And he totally accepts that. He's okay with this. Good on you, man. That's supportive right there. And then Vale comes out and it's like, look, we're trying to help. And this year has been going pretty well. But let's talk about something else right now. That's where they start talking about Iali.
Is this where they say it was like a pinprick wound?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I remember when they said that, like my thought went to Mraize and his blowgun. But then I'm like, then there would still be a dart. So unless someone palmed the dart, there's still got to be someone else there.
It was an ice dart. And so she tries to tell him, okay, so there's this group called the Ghost Bloods that you need to know about, Adolin. She said they were going to send somebody to kill her. And Adolin's like, no, we've been hunting them. Iali was leading them. And no, dear, that was the Sons of Honor. The Ghost Bloods are a different group. And you guys mentioned it's a good way to review the secret groups. But I'm also just like, oh, Adolin, you precious thing. He's just like, no, yeah, that's the group that Iali was leading, right? She's like, no, that's a different... There's more than one secret society.
Which one was the one that your brother was part of? It's like, that was the Skybreakers, different group again. There's a lot of them.
She's like, they're not secret anymore. They joined the enemy. And he's like, right. Radiant's on the other team. Yeah.
So this whole mission, it wasn't even the society I thought it was, because I'm not good at paying attention to what's going on. He's like, just point me in the direction of a fight. That's my thing.
I'll chop some people up. It's fine.
I go stab.
The Ghost Bloods tried to kill Yasna and me by extension by sinking our ship. And he's like, oh, so they're on Odium's side. And she's like, I don't actually know whose side.
Ghost Bloods side.
Yeah. It's unclear what they want exactly. Let's see. And she reveals the book that she found that was hidden in Iali's room that Iali dropped her a hint about. And there's some weird names in here that Iali was trying to piece together what the Ghost Bloods were planning. So here's some terms that her spies overheard. Nalathis, Skadariel, Taldane. Do you recognize any of those? And he's like,
it's Nalthis, not Nalathis, right? Or is she saying it wrong?
It says in the book Nalathis and Skadariel.
Oh,
and
so
Taldane as
okay, I got it.
They're written down just a little differently. And we know what those are, but
despite the terrible spelling.
Yeah, Adolin's over here like, sounds like nonsense to me. I mean, maybe Nalathis has something to do with Nalan, the Herald?
Well, you know what? Roshar sounds like nonsense. Adolin, how do you like them apples?
Also, the name Thydakar is circled several times.
Sounds like a piece of
Okay.
chicken.
He leads them, but who is he? The name
Who
seems
is
like a
he?
title. So, Thydakar, leader of the Ghostbloods, who is that? We don't know.
Well, if it's the Ghost Bloods on Scadrial, then Kelsier, yeah? But we don't know.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not quite sure how connected these guys are to those guys.
Yeah, I mean, there could be splinter groups because, of course, there are splinter groups of things going around. Maybe Kelsier shows up in Stormlight 6. Like, he's like, all right, I had to put Spook down for, like, the whole Survivor of the Flames copyright infringement. And then I started this Ghost Bloods organization. Now I've got to come to this planet and shut them down for copyright infringement. Kelsier's just on his copyright rampage.
I mean, good on you, man. Don't let people steal your shit.
Yeah, be litigious.
Stop doing my bit.
So she tells Adolin all this information, but she kind of holds back the part about her being a member of the Ghostbloods.
You know, the most important part of possibly the conversation.
Yeah, just marginally crucial there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, by the way, I'm in the Ghost Bloods.
Kind of hard to admit though. Once Adolin's in, like, oh, so they're on Odium's side. No.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's why she's
Here's
like,
why.
oh, I'm not going to admit to that.
No.
Doesn't sound right. I don't feel like I'm on Odium's side. I can't
yeah.
speak for Vale and Radiant.
That would be the real problem, though, right? Because it's like she doesn't know exactly what they want, so she's like, I don't think we're on Odium's side. Like, that's not the kind of sentence you want to have to say. I don't think we're on the side of the evil.
The guy that tried to kill all of us, including your dad, that one time.
Yeah, just that one time.
I don't think I'm teamed up with Satan, but maybe I should check that.
I'm not 100% certain, though. So
I don't think I'm a Satanist. I don't think that's what's going on. But that's probably something I should check. Yeah, before I keep going with what I'm doing.
So yeah, that's where we end. Except for the fact that she's like, Mraize is going to want to talk to me about the mission when we get back. So we have that to look forward to.
I do think, like, oh, we've just had all the talk about who's on Odium's side and the secret societies, and I got to the end of this and just thought, there's one glaring omission in terms of secret societies and being on Odium's side in this whole conversation. And then it occurred to me, it's like, we haven't heard from Taravangian at all this book. Like, what's he up to?
Not yet. Yeah, and they don't know about the diagram. Shalon doesn't. Like, she's missing whole secret societies out there. She didn't even know.
Well, I mean, Dalinar should know, because didn't Taravangian confess to him at the end? It's like, yeah, I had this whole thing. I was trying to kill you.
Well,
Sorry.
He admitted to, like, trying to kill Dalinar and trying to, like, steal the coalition out from under him, basically, because he thought he was going to die. I don't know how the details. Like, he may not have mentioned his entire secret society.
Okay, right.
But
just go to me. There's a very, very big Mr. T shaped hole in this book so far.
For next time, we're going to read 3 more chapters, 10, 11, and 12. 10 is called A Single Casualty. 11 is called Passion and Courage. And 12 is called A Way to Help. So let's move into predicaments. What do you guys think? We finished the first big battle, both for Kaladin and Shalon. And now we've got stuff to move into next. What do you guys think is going to happen? Where are we going to go? We're 11% of the way through at the end of that chapter. So we've covered just over a tenth of the book so far.
As for the chapters themselves, I don't really know. I think long-term prediction for the book, I do think between the prologue and this little bit with Navani we've had here, it's like, okay, a big part of the book is going to be Navani, coming to terms with, actually, yeah, I am like a great scientific mind, for better or worse, given what this mysterious pen pal is accusing her of. So, yeah, like Navani's going to... I take from this, Navani's going to pull off some serious shit in this book, like world-altering stuff. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. Maybe she's like this world's Oppenheimer. But as for who her mysterious correspondent is, I get the feeling it could, like, this is one of the fused. Maybe like she's got an opposite number among the fused who is also really good with fabrials and technology and stuff, who is like, all right, she's a pretty good favorite Artifabrian, and she's right next to Dalinar. Like, this woman is very dangerous and not enough people appreciate why. So this fused has taken it upon themselves to, like, got to put a stop to this before, like, she could yeah, I feel like this sort of makes me think Navani has the power to do something, to land a serious blow against the fused, and a lot of we know the fused are sort of divided, because some of them are crazy. Like maybe not enough of them appreciate the technology aspect in the same way Alethi don't really tend to value it as much. They take it for granted. So you got this one, it's like sort of fused ardent, I guess, for want of a better term, who is just like appointed themselves as Navani's arch enemy, and it's like, I'm gonna stop you from using your technology to ruin the planet.
So you think it's not somebody that's like legitimately outraged on behalf of the Spren, but it's like manufactured to try to stop her?
I don't know. I don't see a human being outraged on behalf of the Spren. I could see maybe a fused could be, because like they have Spren like properties themselves, where they just can reform or whatever, like repossess another person. But I don't really know. I guess it could be someone who's outraged on behalf of the fused, but I feel like on this planet everyone seems to have an angle, so maybe that's just this person's angle.
Fair.
No, I think it's a fused. I think it's a fused.
Okay.
How they got the gem in there, I've got no idea, but
I was about to say, one of them might have had the opportunity while all the fused were attacking to sneak in there somehow. It could happen. We know the mink got in real close when he should not have been able to, so clearly they weren't guarding that well.
That's true.
Ooh, okay, where are we going? I have got some pretty decent concerns about the fourth entity within Vale, Shallan, and Radiant, the four. And I always forget what it's actually called. And we said it.
Formless?
Formless. I want to call it the deepness, and I know it's wrong. But that's where my brain goes straight away.
I don't blame you, yeah.
Formless. She doesn't want to acknowledge Formless, but I wonder if Formless has got more sway over things than the three of them realize. Like, the three of them are very conscious of each other and have an awareness while they're in charge. But my concern is that Formless has time in charge, and these are the things that she needs to remember. But it then doesn't actually remove the possibility that Formless and co maybe killed Iolai without even knowing about it. So I don't know that the body that contains Shallan is off the hook for Iolai's murder, but we'll see. That's my swing for the hills prediction. Yeah, I don't know about I like Dak's idea about on the opposite side, being the one talk to Navani. I don't know who it could be necessarily, but it does sort of make sense. Like, someone would have to have opportunity to be able to plant the ruby. So whoever it is has got someone, like either themselves or an agent, who's been able to be close enough. And the way the fuse were flying around and wanting to get a look at the fourth bridge, maybe there was an opportunity to place the ruby. So I think that's probably a good thought, good prediction. Kaladin, I feel he's got some long sort of recovery to go, and maybe some admissions to self about what he's going through, how that affects him and the rest of the Windrunners. At this point, I don't really know. I think maybe we'll find Teft step up a bit more. I mean, I feel like he probably already has, realistically, but Kaladin's not really in a position to lead, and they're kind of already aware of that and looking out for him. So maybe we'll get to see a few more of the Windrunners, becoming sort of key players in this whole thing.
How do you think Kaladin would handle that if like some of the others are having to step up? Because he obviously is recognizing he's having some issues, but still he doesn't want to admit it. And so if other people kind of have to come to the forefront to take some of the leadership burden from him, how do you think he'll handle it?
I don't think he'll handle it particularly well, and it may cause him to act, maybe a little bit irrationally, or have a need to feel like he needs to prove himself. I can't imagine him just going, you know what, someone else take the reins for a little while. That's okay. I'm not saying cut him out of it, but someone else, sometimes you just need to be the one that's sort of told what to do, rather than being constantly the one telling other people what to do and guiding and instructing. And it's like, you can't give from that empty cup. And I I think it's going to take a lot for Kaladin to fully realize that his cup is not full. Yeah, he knows he's got some issues, but obviously he doesn't know, the extent of them. But I mean, we've only really seen the recent fallout of his confrontation with Moash. So, and not saying it'll just go away, but maybe he'll be in a better position to deal with it. More people have seen, him come back in that like state of shock. So it's not just, hey, what's going on with you? It's also what just happened. But yeah, I can't imagine he would take it particularly well. It may involve some influence from Dalinar at some point, and we haven't had a Dalinar perspective yet to really be able to get sort of his interpretation of what's going on. But yeah, no, in short answer, no, not well. I don't think he would handle that very well.
Fair. Yeah. Okay. And I like you bringing up being concerned about Shallan and where she is at, because yeah, we seem to have hit some kind of equilibrium between the three of them, and it was worrying. I mean, last book we spent a lot of time being like, what is going on in this woman's brain, and where are we going to land here? And so we seem to become somewhat stable, and throwing that completely off again, it might not be great.
Yeah, and whether it's maybe she just hasn't been aware of it the whole time. I mean, Shallan's got a pretty dark history. Wouldn't shock me if there's a personality in there that has been there the whole time, and it's really just now coming to the forefront. But yeah, I am concerned of how much of it could happen without. It's the bits that she's blacked out, and they're like, we need to remember this stuff. Because I got the feeling that when we learnt everything that happened, like with her dad, and when that confession finally came out, that wasn't something that she had forgotten. It's something she'd chosen not to acknowledge or reveal. Now there are things that she's chosen to forget or just doesn't remember. It kind of feels like we're going down that Dalinar path of my memories are gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I feel like this storyline kind of shocked me. I was like, oh, we're going back for another character who doesn't remember the past. But yeah, I definitely have concerns. And how could you do that differently? Is it just does it, or are there parts that they're not aware of? And I think that's the bit that's scarier to me.
Well, yeah, and is that thinking about all the stuff that we found out about Shallan's past that she has remembered? If there's worse stuff that she's still not remembering, like what is worse than what we saw? Like, I don't even know that I want to read that.
Pretty dark. No.
Yeah, man, you guys have kind of given me a lot to think on. I am kind of gonna go maybe in a different direction and kind of think through some different things. I think for right now, I'm just gonna kind of speak on the specific like next chapters and what we could see. Do you mind giving me the titles again, Data? Do you have those?
Yeah. Chapter 10 is a single casualty.
A single casualty, okay?
Yep.
Let me just focus on each name one at a time here. Single casualty. Yeah, I mean, the obvious part of that name would be like we lost something or someone. What that could be, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, Kaladin is having some issues for sure. Could it be like his ex-girlfriend is like really torn up about the death of Rashon? Like what's maybe, I don't know. If that'd be, I feel like kind of a weird thing to focus on, but it's also not impossible. What's the next one?
Chapter 11 is Passion and Courage.
Passion and Courage. Yeah. With it was one of those things where like before we could kind of decide like, do we think this is a Shallan heavy chapter or a Kaladin heavy chapter? But now with how many quick cuts they've been making, it could be Shallan, Navani, and Kaladin. So not sure on that either. I mean, Passion and Courage, both things that Shallan has to deal with for sure, but also both things that Kaladin has to deal with.
True.
I'd really like to maybe take a step back now that we're on our way back and focus on more like not to like go overboard with the Kaladin stuff, but just like at least not the Kaladin is depressed stuff, but just kind of take a step back and maybe get more in touch with how the rest of Bridge 4 is doing. Like we know a little bit about Teft and a little bit about the other people that were on the mission with Kaladin, but I'd like to know, like, kind of get back to basics with some of the Bridge 4 guys and kind of get their perspective on the Moash stuff and all that. But and then what was the last one?
The last one is A Way to Help.
Way to help. Yeah, so maybe Kaladin will have a quick turning point here. Like, this is a way, like, we find a Syl or somebody finds a way to help Kaladin. That'd be pretty cool. Kind of what the focus was on when she's like, I need to find a way to help you. So
That's true.
be interesting to like get a little bit of resolution, or at least a path to that. I almost feel like Kaladin needs to go on like some kind of like vision quest to get like his head aligned. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what form that would take, but that'd be interesting if he kind of like went off on his own for a while to kind of figure things out.
Meet Johnny Cash the Coyote.
Yeah. And by his own, I mean, obviously with Syl, but I think it'd be cool. We just did not get enough Shadesmar in the last book, in my opinion. I think it'd be cool if like Kaladin went to Shadesmar with Syl and like went to, the hang out in the honor sprint and figure things out. I think that'd be kind of interesting. And I do want to speak a little bit on the Navani stuff. Like I'm almost wondering if this is a weird thought, so I don't know like how right it is, or like how even close it could be, but I just want to shoot this idea out here just because it just came to me, it popped in my brain a little bit ago. It's like, what if Shallan's like formless identity is the one sending Navani these like messages? That would be interesting. Don't think that's what's happening, but it'd be interesting.
Intriguing.
I get the idea that it's more, I don't know why, but I feel like it's a Parshendi. I don't know why. That just hits me as well. But it'd be more interesting if it was like another personality of Shallan that she's like not even like aware of. Although
so many of them now.
I was about to say we really beat that to death in the last book, so I'd actually like a kind of like a break from that stuff. But anyway, just throwing different ideas out.
What we've seen so far, I'm not sure if they're going to give us a break from that.
Yeah,
we'll have to see. But
be nice if some of our heroes could be a little more stable.
No. This is the Stormlight Archive in a lot of ways is a book about, or is a series about mental illness.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong for sure.
From Kaladin to Shallan to Teft, even it's just all sorts of, and it's funny.
Elokar.
Yeah, that's true.
It's funny because in a way it's kind of like. Relating it back to Mistborn again, if you remember, like they said that you couldn't control the metals until you'd seen death or something. Like you had to snap to be able to. To become an Allomancer, and here it's like I think they've mentioned before. It's like you have to have these cracks in your soul that get filled by power or something like that. Like Lopin talks about it at the end of the last book, where it's. It's like you have to. There has to be something there before you get this happening. I don't know.
Right.
That doesn't seem true across the board. We haven't seen that deeply into like Lynn. Like she seems fine. Even people like Sigzil. Like we haven't seen any deep psychological issues with him. But it really stands out with our main characters in a lot of ways.
Yeah, maybe because they were like the originators of the Spren bonds. I don't know.
Well, we know very little about Lynn.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So
who
maybe
knows? She does. She's got a dark past also.
Or maybe dating Kaladin was just that traumatic for her.
She said so many oaths while dating Kaladin. It was crazy. Yeah.
Before we move on, though, I do want to, when Joe was talking about Kaladin going on a vision quest to Shadesmar, just him and Syl, like the image that popped into my head, I have no idea why this came in, but like he's talking to Dalinar and Adolin about it. It's like, I need to go like do this thing. And they're just like, well, we'll let you go, but we can't let you go alone. You're too valuable. And he's like, but like, well, who are you going to send with me? It's like, well, you're going to Shadesmar. You need someone who knows Shadesmar. It's like, do we have anyone like that? It's like, of course we do. And then like the next page is Zahel opening his door going, what do you want?
Yeah, that'd be cool. When you were building that up, I was thinking Yasna, and I was like,
that's what I thought he was going Yasna.
Finally,
I was like, are they going to send the queen?
Yeah, Yasna's too busy ruling.
Yeah, finally ruling what?
That's true too.
Yeah, fair point.
Finally, the Kaladin Yasna romance can begin.
from the one time we saw them in the same room together,
They hated each other.
Hey
it does
man,
seem like one of those like fantasy book romances where they start out hating each other and then
Well,
yeah, I can see it.
to be fair, that is how Kaladin and Shallan started out too. So
that's true. I think Kaladin
Yep.
just rubs everybody the wrong way, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm not a big ship guy. But if I was going to ship somebody, I'm down for the Kaladin Yasna. You know, she hated Amaram. He hated Amaram.
That's
It's
true. They
all-
can bond over that. Yeah.
Yeah.
that is good common ground. Yeah.
I mean, but who doesn't hate Amaram at this
I was
point?
about to say sucks. So it's
He does now. Like there was a while there, everyone's like, he's the greatest, most wonderful man ever. And Kaladin and Yasna were the only ones going, boo this man.
the people who really knew him, I feel like were probably like, although Gavilar seemed to like him, he wanted him to marry his daughter, so who knows? Then again,
Like,
Gavilar.
yeah, but Gavilar was not a good person himself, as we have learned.
Yeah.
Yeah. More like demanding it. It's like she will marry Amaram. It's like whoa.
The princess will marry me, but you're so old.
But you're so old. Classic Jafar.
Oh man. Okay, let's move on. We have a bunch of emails. We'll read a couple of those, and then we have 2 new patrons this week. So let's do some emails first, and then we'll wrap back to the patrons. Oh, and this one has a Spotify rating attached, so get ready for that, Joe. This one is from Cameron. It says, finally caught up after 3 years. Hey, Sanderlanche crew. First off, let me say thank you for hundreds of hours of content. You kept me getting through work all these years. I first started reading Sanderson in 2024 with the original Mistborn trilogy and fell in love instantly, but didn't discover your show until I was well into the Way of Kings. None of my other friends read, so getting to have your show as a book club made the Sanderson journey that much better. I love hearing your guys' theories and predictions, and your banter and tangents are usually a great time as well. I'm sad that I've now finally caught up and won't be able to listen to the episodes as soon as I'm reading the chapters, but alas, I must keep going. I need those audiobooks to get me through my day. I will always continue to look forward to your newest episode every week, and excited to see what you guys think of the first part of Rhythm of War, as I just started it myself. Always told myself I would wait until I caught up to finally send an email. Maybe you'll hear from me more in the future. Thanks for years of amazing content, and here's a 5-star Spotify review.
Oh, what a nice email. I enjoy, and I agree. Sometimes our versions are not, the best versions, but it's weird living in this brain that I have. You're just gonna have to go on the ride with me. Anyway, so for your wonderful 5-star Spotify review, you will be given a misting power, which will be a thug. We were talking about pewter earlier. I feel like you should be a thug.
Hugged.
Good old pewter arm.
All right. Thank you for that email. Let's do this one is from Leslie. And this is a series of emails that went back and forth between us because there were some questions that were not for the show. I think I've read one of these on the air, so I'm just going to do the most recent that she sent. This one says, hello all. I'm fully caught up now on your episodes again. I did read ahead and finished Wind and Truth and the novellas while y'all were still in Oathbringer. I've read most of the secret projects and would like to get my hands on Tailored Reality soon. Tress is one of my favorites, but for me, Isles of the Emberdark has it beat. I was already a huge fan of the short story Six of the Dusk, so getting a full novel was fantastic.
So were we.
Yeah. I'm so glad I'm not the only one who kept thinking Nickley was a female. I honestly gave up trying to switch it in my head. Anyway, I attached another picture of my pups. You guys rock. Wasn't to the time of next, Colo. So here is the dog picture that was shared for us. Where's our chat? There it is.
Do love a good dog picture.
Doop. There you go. Right underneath the picture of Zane from the upcoming Well of Ascension expansion to the Mistborn.
Look at those pups.
Look at Zane. Screw that guy. But
Yeah,
look at
Zane's
the
the
pups.
worst. Look at the pups. The pups. The pups.
Cute puppies. Thank you, Leslie. This one is from Richard, not the thick book, just Richard.
Oh, okay.
The title is Stormlight Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck.
Stormlight Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck.
Yep. Hello, everyone. Richard here. After last week's talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! I had to chip in as a fan of the game. I also love to create decks, so of course, I have been working on a Stormlight deck on and off for years. The mechanic I use is the counter mechanic. Spell cards like High Storm and Infused Gemstone give Stormlight counters that can be used for the Radiance abilities, building up counters like gem pouches. The hard part is finding which surge fits with which effect. without being unusable or overpowered. Wasn't to the time of next from Richard. So that sounds super cool.
That's more than I've thought about Yu-Gi-Oh in many years.
I actually think it makes a lot of sense to go with a counter mechanic. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like it.
I don't remember the mechanics too well. It's been that long since I
Yeah,
even looked at the cards.
when the game first started, so the thing that gets me about trading card games now is because they're so because games in general, board games and things like that have become so advanced, the strategies for the games evolve very quickly. Like they'll release a set and then the mechanics will change completely in the very next set, which comes out like less than a year later. But as a kid growing up, the main mechanics of Yu-Gi-Oh were pretty straightforward. It was like you need monsters on the field, you have trap cards and spell cards to help you. That's pretty much it. But now there are, all that stuff's a lot more advanced now because people are learning to play games at a more advanced level.
Yeah, the meta for the games changes real quick.
Yeah. Same thing. That's why I couldn't keep up with the Dragon Ball Super card game. I was really enjoying it when it first came out, going to tournaments, having a lot of fun, doing well in the tournaments too. And then like it just kept changing to the point where I was like, oh, I don't really like this game anymore. Like the mechanics of it are not really for me.
Fair. Let's do one more quick email. This one is from Snot Ninja, who we've heard from before. It's called In Defense of My Sandwich / Miracle of Sound. So he sent us in a sandwich before.
Hey, I haven't tried the sandwich yet. You don't have to defend it.
It says, Snot Ninja here. I loved hearing Joe not liking the sound of my peanut butter pizza. Most people have that reaction. Of the 3 who have tried it, 1, my little brother Zach, loved it, and the other 2 were pleasantly surprised that it was actually good. They won't go back to it because there are other things they'd rather eat, but they said it's not bad.
I'm still going to try it. Don't you worry. It doesn't sound good.
Also, I am one of your 1.5 speed listeners, and I just realized as listening to the Jeopardy episode that it's actually strange that all the intro songs work sped up as well. In fact, I started listening to a lot of Miracle of Sound, and the actual speed always throws me off. That's kind of funny. I never imagined that, I never thought about the 1.5 speed would definitely change the songs. For
yeah,
sure.
It absolutely would, yeah.
Song. It's probably like, my revolution carries me. Yeah, it'd probably be about that speed. That's pretty quick.
Yeah. I'm curious. I may go back and like pull up some YouTube and listen to some of those.
You just increase the speed of your song on your phone.
Can you do that? I didn't.
Yeah,
I've
I
never
think.
played with that.
Maybe not.
Okay. maybe not. Okay. Well, thank you guys for the emails. If you want to send us an email, the address is thesanderlanch@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram and Facebook and places like that, and on Patreon, where I finished this weekend reading Moment Zero, and by the time this episode comes out, there'll be 1 or 2 episodes of my read of Moment Zero going up on Patreon as I react reading it for the first time. So if you like that, if you're interested in that kind of thing, join our Patreon like these folks did. We have 2 new people this time. The first one joined at the misting level is Luke.
Luke, a misting level. Let's see where to place you. I'm going to give you, Luke, I'm going to give you Sentry. You store wakefulness. Something I wish I could do.
Right? Yeah.
Be helpful for staying awake when I want to stay awake.
And the other person who joined the Patreon this week at the Ska level is Siobhan.
Siobhan, you are a pinnacle. You store Electrum. I mean, you store Electrum, but you also store Determination. You use Electrum to store Determination. Sorry. I can't talk.
So thank you to our new patrons. We appreciate you. I hope you guys are enjoying listening to me ramble, and and voting in the occasional poll and other stuff that goes on the Patreon. So we appreciate you guys a lot. Thank you to our emailers. Thank you to everyone who just shows up every week and listens to us go through and talk about these things. I hope you're enjoying it as much as we enjoy making it and reading these books. Remember, we are doing 3 more chapters for next week. So that's 10, 11, and 12. If you are reading along with us, read those chapters, not other chapters. I mean, you can read other chapters if you want. I'm not the boss of you. But those are the ones that we're going to be talking about. Music by Miracle of Sound, and wasing to the time of next. Colo, P.S. Fasher. Grab at thee.
Burden that is shared is much easier to bear We will not fall to despair this darkest day. Whatever comes our way.